Welcome, welcome, welcome. What is going on? Welcome to the live stream. I'm a bit out of practice for all this stuff, you know. First, Dauntless, welcome. I'm a little bit out of practice just because I've had a couple of holidays. I haven't really spoke about it, but I've had a couple of holidays these last few weeks. Would you have known I'd even gone? Can you believe I've squeezed 2 holidays in the last, 3 weeks? Bet you had no idea. There has been a distinct lack of videos, I'll be honest. Lower your prices. Easily done in these hard times. Don't know if that's the solution, you know. Welcome everyone. Dauntless, Burgess, Spotless, John, Craig, PM guy. I'm just going to move the camera slightly because it's right in the way of the chat. Might have to bring you down a bit as well. Bring you back down to earth. Slacking, mate, I know. Lee, welcome. Beasley, what's going on? Matt. Negan. Lindsay, how you doing? How's that? We're good? I think we're good. How's my week been? It's Monday, it hasn't even started yet. No, it's been good. Started off with a solid clean that took too long today. Took far too long. Much longer than it should have. Took about 3 hours to clean this drive this morning. It was just unnecessarily long. Annoyingly long. Very weedy. Very annoying. But yeah, I've been to Devon Cliffs in Haven. And then I've been to spent a long weekend. We went Thursday evening. We went to where have we been? Dorset. I think we've been to Dorset. We got a good result this morning though. Look at this. Have a little piece of that pie. Have a taste of that. Ooh, oh, they don't come better than that, do they? Ooh, look at that. These are always good ones. When it's you can just tell, you can see the colour coming through already, and the blocks are still in good condition. It's only been down since about 2013, so it's not a super old drive. They're not crazy weathered, but this was this morning's job. Look at the transformation, absolutely beautiful. The weeds were pretty crazy. I've noticed a couple of still next to the garage door down here, which is annoying, but all these bushes are sort of spreading underneath the block paving, and there's just weeds coming up all over the place, roots and all sorts. They're about 3 inches thick, some of these little branches. That's an exaggeration, but other than that, I've been work has just dropped off a cliff. It's just died. There are people getting in touch, but they don't want to spend the money. I had a lady that got in touch about her solar panels, and this was recommended through a friend. I didn't know how many solar panels she had, and I didn't have any sort of photos or anything. I couldn't see her property from Google Earth, so just to avoid the back and forth, I just said, look, I charge around about £17 per panel, which I know to most people is quite expensive, but I don't want to do it for less than that because it's solar panel cleaning's if you haven't done it before, it's more difficult than you expect, and it takes a little bit longer. It's not just like cleaning a window. It's especially if they're caked in bird crap and lichens and stuff. So £17 per panel is around about where I'm at. And she said, "Oh, it's too expensive. We've got 17 panels, so certainly didn't want to pay that much. Really didn't think it was going to cost that much." So I was like, "Okay, fair enough. I've caught you off guard a little bit. I totally understand. Didn't expect you to have 17 panels first of all. So." Happy to do you a discount. And before I could even offer another price, she sort of said, don't worry about it, we're going to buy the stuff and we're going to do it ourselves. I was like, alright. So that one's a goner. I've had another chap that I landed today actually. He's gone for it, but he said I can get someone locally to me to do the same job you're quoting for. So it's like a I can't, it's bad, but I can't tell whether this drive is resin or concrete. I think I'll put it in the Discord. Let me see if I can pull it up. Maybe some of you guys can help me, but so there's a driveway. I'm going to tell you what I quoted. I'm going to show you exactly what I quoted for this, because it's, tell you what, I'm just going to put it in the Discord now. I'll send all the pictures over, just so you can see what I'm talking about. I think I'm cheap here, right? And he said he can get the same work done for half the price, but because we're so professional, and he's been very impressed by us, and he saw me in the Sunday Times, didn't he? But he kept the article. He sent me in the Sunday Times. But for that alone, he wants me to do it. But he sort of got me thinking, like, well, I don't really want to do it now. And you get it done if you can get it done for half the price, and then he's asking, like, so I'm assuming you're insured and all this, and it's like, yes, yeah, but look, feels like this is going to be potentially annoying. No, that's harsh. I don't know. Let me put this in the chat so you can see. Sorry if I've missed anyone. Paul's Exterior, welcome. How you doing? How's your did you get a poll from Gutter Vacuum Systems? Because you won. Is this the same Paul that won the giveaway, the £250 giveaway? I think you got a poll, didn't you? How are you getting on with it? £20 a house, any size, spam them out. Seems to be what people are doing. Yeah, it's a good strategy for landing the work. Not a very good strategy for long-term business. Browns, welcome. How you doing, mate? Seb. Spotless Solutions. Had the van sign written. Nice. I've paid off twice already. You've already got work from it. I've just designed the sign writing for my van, and I went to send the email with everything that I wanted. The email didn't send because the files were too big, and I was rushing, so I had to get out of the house, so I've had to just leave it. And then over the weekend, I'm thinking, I don't like the design. I want it to be better. So I think it didn't send for a reason. Do you ever have stuff that happens like that you just take as a sign? Something won't work, or you'll send a message, it doesn't send, or you'll do something, it's like, oh, it wasn't meant to be. I'm not going to try again because it wasn't meant to be. Like, I get like that sometimes, and it's silly, and it's absolute bollocks, but that's what it is in my head. Bonjour, Shag. Luke, how you doing, mate? 3-week holiday in Cyprus. Came home early or good. See you, girly. Here you go. Love you. Good night. Chocolatey mouth. Yep. Sophie's told her to call me boring. So now every time she sees my 4-year-old, I'm walking in the room, my 4-year-old's going, boring. Before I've even said anything. First night back in my other job, medial ligaments strained. Still off work now, 0 pressure washing done, plus the drop off. Ooh, that is a series of unfortunate events. What is a medial ligament? Sounds nasty, don't like it. Don't want to even think about it. Work is expected to slow down this time of year. It is. I'm hoping the gutters are going to pick up. I've got a plan to like film a really good gutter advert. Tracy, I'm alright, mate. Spot on, mate. Great job. Thank you. 3 hours. I know. Filthy before and after reminds me of my missus. Okay. Oh God. What did I just read? Evening, Bert. David from the Isle of Man. Welcome. H&N. Yo. So many people here. What's going on? Money's money, better in your pocket. What are we talking about? Money is money, better in your pocket. Yeah, true. You are right. Yeah. So this is the job. No, thank you. No, thank you. I know this song. Fantastic song. So it's can anyone tell? Is this resin or just concrete, like Pebble Dash style? I can't see any concrete. I can see lots of aggregate, but I don't see any binding concrete, which makes me think it's resin. It looks like resin, but the way it's fragmenting in certain places, it's like there's nothing holding it together. Looking at it now, I'm pretty confident it's resin. But look at this. This picture's throwing me off. Because that looks like it's coated in concrete. Those little stones there. It looks like someone's pressure washed the corner of this in the past. Has anyone got any clue what that is? I think the aggregate looks too big to be. No, I'm talking nonsense. I don't know. And so I've got this back patio to do, which is annoying to get to. We've got to go all the way around the side of the house, down this thin path. And it means we've got to lift Jakey's machine out the van, bring the buffer tank round as well, because we can't go through the house. So that rear patio is going to be a nuisance. It's going to be a nightmare. And also, he's asked us to quote for the sills. I'm not going to spend too much time showing you the front of the property, but see these stone sills? It's just like sandstone cast. And they're dirty. They're dutty as heck. Dutty as old heck. And not only that, but when I give the price, I forgot that on the day, I'd said I'll put some grit in the patio for you as well, because it's got grit. It's not cement, it's not sand, it's just tiny bits of grit. So I said I'll replace that once we blast it all out, because I think that'll finish it off quite nicely. Do you know what I've quoted for this? And it's not even near me. It's like 35-40 minutes away. I've quoted 170 quid for the front drive and the little bit of path outside. I think it only goes up to there. Either way, that was just for me to get over there. 170 quid. Driveway. Path. Just for me to turn up, basically. Rear patio, 145 quid. There's a bit that goes, it's quite a significant amount that actually goes up the garden that you can't see from this picture, so that might sound expensive, but I think it's about right, considering I know the effort that we're going to have to go through to actually clean that patio. And then the cast stone sills, front and back. So these ones, front and back. Quite a lot of work there. We're going to have to mix up a separate sort of batch of hypo with plenty of surfactant in it. We're going to have to get the ladders off the van, take the ladders around the back of the property, get up on the ladder with the mini trigger, a light wash on the stone sills, and then probably just like a bucket and a stiff brush, and just brush some hypo onto these sills. Wait, rinse it off. Like it's not a short process. It's going to be annoying. It's going to be a very annoying job that isn't very close to home. And I'm not even confident, to be honest, that this driveway is going to come up very good, considering how I can see the edges are falling apart. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's being severely tickled. Loads of moss. And I said, look, I think I'm just going to do a light wash to avoid causing any damage. A light wash to get the majority of the moss off. We'll treat it with biocide, kill everything, and then go from there. I'll probably have to come back and do another wash later on in the winter. So in total, we're at about in total, we're at 440. For me to travel 35-40 minutes, front and back, drive, patio, and all those stone sills, 440 for me and Jakey to go and do that. I think that's cheap. And he's like, I can get someone in my area to do it for half the price. So, is someone being murdered out there? I just don't know if that's fair. He wants me. He said his limit was 400 quid, and I was like, look, if you can have it all done, you tell me you can have it all done. I'll do 415 quid, which is like 25 quid off what I wanted. And then I forgot about the bags of sand, the bags of grit as well. So I'm gonna have to go and get that out of my own pocket. I feel like I just don't want to do that one, to be honest. Is anyone on board? Does anyone agree with me? I don't know. And that's not the only one. So I'm too expensive on the solar panels. I'm double the price for someone over in the Cotswolds. These people are absolutely loaded, and they reckon I'm, you know. And then what else was it? I quoted for someone wanted their gutters, fascias, soffits cleaning, gutters vacuuming out front and back from a job that I did 2 years ago. They just want the same doing again. I did all that work for 100 quid 2 years ago. And now that I know what's involved, to be fair, it was part of like a slightly bigger project with the neighbour's roof clean and stuff. But now that I know what's involved, I'm at more like 150 quid on that. And so they've asked me to like break down, like, what about if I just get them vacuumed rather than washing? I'm like, oh, alright, it's going to be 80 quid. And so they've gone like, okay, we'll just have the vacuuming done then. It's like, God, am I really that expensive? 150 quid I thought was quite reasonable for like two hours work. Me and Jakey? I don't know. Am I going crazy, or just people just not want to spend money at the minute? And these are all like recent inquiries in like a quiet patch, in like a lull. The last thing I want to do just to win this work is like drop my prices. I don't want to drop my prices. I'd rather just not win the work, to be honest, and just maintain my prices. There's going to be a point, if it carries on like this, which it won't, I'm confident, but if it carries on like this, there's going to be a point where it's either like pay my bills or drop my prices. Or drop my prices and pay my bills, or just have no work. It won't get to that, but it's just annoying to think that it's a possibility, you know what I mean? Evening wash fix, you right, mate? Alex, how you doing? It works a treat. Nice one, Paul. Heavy but heavy reliable. Which poll did you go for? I can't remember. Was it the Aliconda? 50 people watching and only 4 likes. Just damn breaks my heart. I think you guys know what to do. Now, it would be very helpful if you could like the stream. That'd be great. I am going to slowly make my way through everyone's messages, so don't worry if you've typed something and I haven't got to it yet. I will try and get to everyone. I've got a few bits to talk about, but I thought we could just do like more of a Q&A today about if anyone's got any burning questions. Might be a good opportunity to just see if I know the answer, I suppose. Also, there's quite a few of you here. If you haven't heard, me and Darren are hosting a sausage fest. Yes, you heard me. We're hosting. It's going to be like a, you know, like those breakfast car meets. It's going to be like that, but for pressure washers. So it's like, come and show off your rig. That sounds cringy, but bring your van, bring your trailer or whatever you've got. Turn up. Darren's going to get a sausage butty breakfast van. Let me put that in the chat for you. So if anyone wants to come, it'd be helpful if you can tell us whether you're coming, so that we can get numbers. How many sausages to get out, you know what I mean? That's the link in the chat there. And there's going to be some significant discounts as well, according to Darren. So if you're after a bargain, for attendees only, they're not going to be on the website or anything like that. We've got 47 responses. We've got We've got 16 going so far and 31 interested. 31 people with commitment issues. Sid being one of them. Come on, Sid. So yeah, if you fancy it, what am I doing? There's the description there. If you fancy it, let me know. It's going to be at PWS, by the way, in Stafford. Your files are never too big. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? My files? I don't know what you're saying. By the way, my latest video, I filmed that in 4K. It almost set my laptop on fire when I was editing that video. And that file size, when I uploaded that video to YouTube, 17 minutes long, 64 gig. And it took all night. I think I put it on at 6 o'clock last night. And I came into this room at 3 o'clock this morning. And it had just finished uploading at 3 a.m. And at 3 a.m. I decided to come in here and start editing and playing around with thumbnails, which is why I probably don't look the best today. So I was probably working on that video till about 3:30, and then I went and did that driveway at about, well, I went and picked Jakey up about 8:30. So feeling a little bit tired, a little bit irritable today. I'm 99% sure that's resin bonded drive, so it's just aggregate spread on the top of the resin. It's not permeable, can be cleaned like concrete, and a bit easier, but with pressure needs to be lower to stop chipping the chipping the aggregate off. I was thinking that maybe like surface cleaner, flat surface cleaner, and low pressure, see what happens. Plenty of hypo. Guy, if you've had your van sign written, feel free to drop them in the Discord or on Instagram or whatever, and I'll pull them up, and if you fancy it, no worries if not. I use a company in Windsor for it called Studio 997. They put the van on their Insta earlier. Nice. Studio 997. Studio 997. Windsor. Ooh. Boys. That is very posh, I'll be honest. That's lovely, that is. Especially with the colour of the van as well, that like sort of almost like a gunmetal grey van. That is lovely. I like it, nice and clear, easy to read. Looks brand new, that does, mate. Cracking. How's it going, fella? Blue Box, welcome. Work is dead for me too. I got about 120 window cleaning customers to keep me ticking over. I guess that's where window cleaning is a little bit overpowered when it comes to having that repeatable, dependable income that pressure washing doesn't really give you, unless you've got a massive customer base, loads of repeat work, commercial contracts. You don't really get that security with pressure washing. Hi everyone, I've been following your work for a long time and I really like your approach to work. I live in Russia myself. Start such a pressure washing business. Thank you. Nice. Congratulations on starting a new business and welcome from Russia. Good to have you. Sorry I had to finish off your newest video before hopping on the live. No worries, Martin, welcome. Looks like resin. Yeah, I think so too. Thank you. I've got a great first pressure washing job already guaranteed by someone on my post route who I get on with. Google Earth says it's about 850 meters squared and the house is worth about 3.5 million quid. Jesus, David, that's a crazy one to jump into for a first job. Logistical nightmare, yeah, I can imagine. Is it block paving? What sort of surface is it? Because 850 square meters, if it's block paving, you're going to be like kicking out all the chaff between the joints. It's going to be a mucky one. when I was using my 15 to 20 litres per minute on a garden centre I did earlier this year, I managed to, it was very dirty, very weedy. I managed to achieve around about 175 square metres in a day. It was one of my days, so it wasn't a particularly long day, but it was plenty, considering it was turbo nozzle the whole time. Just turbo nozzle, just back and forward like that, scooping all the waste. Luckily, the waste that I could empty the waste on site. There was like a wooded area at the back where I could just dump it all out into the compost pile. Don't underestimate the amount of waste, particularly on your first job. And that was with a 15-20 litre per minute machine. I can't remember what setting I had it on, but if you've got anything lower than that, just take into account the time it's going to take you to actually do that work. It's a big old job for your first one. I'd recommend, before you jump into that one, get a small driveway under your belt, just so you know what to expect before jumping in head first. That's just my opinion. Could you not use the Honda GX390? Yeah. Yeah. Breeding ground for moss, yeah. Are you repointing it? No, not repointing the patio. Just throwing some grit in between the joints, because that's what's currently there. Turbo with a 30 litre per minute and 250 bar. How many days? 440 quid. Did you wear an eye patch when you quoted it? That's expensive. That's not expensive. Wait. Did you wear an eye patch when you quoted it? What are you talking about? I'm not going to turbo it at 30 litres per minute. We never use that machine turned up to 30 litres per minute. It's cheap, isn't it? How much would everyone else have quoted? That's a good question. Oh, you'd have been around the 400 quid mark. What? You're sending me mixed signals, Craig. If you are winning most jobs, but not all of them, your price is spot on. If you win them all, you're too cheap. And if you win none, you're too expensive, so I wouldn't worry. Yeah, you're right. And it's a weird time of the season as well. Weird time of year for what people are going to be spending their monies on. Their monies. A lot of people are either going on holiday or they've just come back from their holiday. And we're going into winter. I think when it comes to exterior cleaning, no one's looking to make their driveway look pretty for Christmas. Like, that's not a thing. You do it, you get your driveway and your patio done for summer. And I think now I'm going to start leaning into the gutters. I think now is the time, because as I've been driving, I've seen the leaves are falling, like everything's turning orange. It's looking good. It's looking promising for and also the amount of rain we've had. God, this rain over the last couple of days. I've had 3 phone calls these last few days just from people telling me their gutters are spilling over with water. I've had an emergency one in this same area, which is why I wanted to get them in together. I thought, oh, if I can get these two jobs together, 40 minutes away. His gutters are spilling over into his conservatory, so his conservatory's leaking. So it's a bit of an emergency jobby. I actually need to get back to him. I was supposed to do that tonight. I forgot. I'll do it first thing in the morning. Saying he knows someone who can do it for half the price, then proceeds to say his budget is 400 quid seems like he's chatting waffle. You are potentially right. Yeah. And then he's saying, like, he used to be a manager of like maintenance in the area, and he had all those driveways laid for the area, because it's like an estate, I suppose. And so he said, like, this is what they always say, they get you with, if you do a good job on this one, that neighbour's going to see it, that neighbour's going to see it, and you can give me some of your cards and I'll hand them out, and the likelihood is you'll get all of these round here. And it's like, yeah, but I've heard that so many times in the past. I do a great job every time and I never get the whole street, you know what I mean? If he could get it for half the price, then why is he still negotiating with you? Sounds like a blagger. I should have called him. I don't know. He's a lovely bloke. But maybe I should have just said, like, no, if you can do it for half the price, you carry on with that guy. Sounds like a great deal. But it's like they saw me in the paper and they think I'm super professional and all this. Meanwhile, I'm talking about them on a live stream. Stupid. What am I doing? Evening, Brad. Welcome. Just in time for the sausage talk. When quoting jobs, do you price it with hypo in the price, or is that extra? I do take into account every job now. Every block paving job, I'm putting some hypo down, and I'm considering, after all that chat of me being too expensive, I'm considering upping my prices 50p per square metre. So let's just run the figures, shall we? On smelt.club. So I've got a 75 metre square driveway. I'm not using this resanding tab anymore because I'm sort of comfortable with my pricing. So I'm actually just going to go £4 per square metre. That lands me at 300 quid. Now I'm including hypo in that. So with a tarmac drive, I'm at maybe £3 per square metre. With a concrete, Indian sandstone patio with maybe resin, with a couple of other areas where I'm pressure washing it, and then I'm going to throw down some chemicals afterwards, but there's no sand involved, I'm at £3.50 per square metre, just to account for the chemicals. So why aren't I doing that for block paving? Block paving, I'm at £4 per square metre because that includes the sand. But I'm not adding anything on for chemicals, so maybe I should be at more like £4.50 per square metre for block paving. Which raises, in this particular situation, raises the price by 40 quid on a 75 square metre driveway. Is that reasonable? Does that sound reasonable to everyone? And I know up and down the country these prices are going to be all different, so you can't don't look at this and think, oh, that's what I need to charge now, because it's going to be different in your area potentially, and you might offer a totally different level of service to me. You might go around beforehand and put some weed killer down, or there's all sorts that goes into it. But I think I might up my block paving price per square metre by about 50p. I'm happy with pretty much everything else at the moment. I am messing about with my ceiling prices. If you want to know what that website was, if you haven't already seen it, it's smelt.club. Just type into your browser smelt.club and it should come up. So I've also got this this little price list here. Pattern imprinted concrete ceiling, £12 per square metre. I'm messing about with these every week. Decking wash, repointing. I upped that significantly the other day. That was more like £18 per square metre. And H2, I reckon that's still way too cheap. I'm not going to discuss what they charge for the repointing with the Titan, but it's significantly more than what I'm charging. And they presented a good point when we were discussing it. They convinced me I should be charging way more for that service. So that's debatable. That is up for debate. I've got to bounce, bedtime story duty tonight. Good luck. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Lee. Well, welcome and goodbye. What if you're thinking about starting up this type of business and want to come and just see what you would need and how to go about it and how it all works? There's a couple of people that do some good courses by the looks of it. We've got Macintosh, A.E. Macintosh. He's a YouTuber and he's on Facebook and Instagram, and he offers a course where he's just sort of like hands-on with the tools. Sid Partridge has just announced that he's doing, or seriously considering doing, a course where you can sort of do your first roof clean. So it's no messing about, no sort of... He took a slight dig at someone else's course, but you're not just fannying about with equipment in a car park. You're actually up a scaffolding tower, using the equipment on your first roof, and it's hands-on experience. It's not necessarily health and safety stuff, but it's just get on the tools, get your first job out of the way, understand what to expect, So look out for that sort of stuff from people who have already been in the industry for a long time. Craig, if you'd have asked me that at 400 quid, then whoever asked should be charging 800 quid. Spotless Solutions, let me see your van. I'm having mine signed and written shortly. I'll have to tidy my van up for the sausage meat. Are you coming, Steve? There is a show your setup channel in the Discord. Get your kit in there, guys. Ooh, get your kit out. Show your setup. There we go. We've only got one in there so far. I need a new reel. I need a new high pressure reel. Mine's falling apart. That one looks so posh. If only it was orange, Darren. Imagine who would pay for a service where you pay slightly more for the parts, but they come in your colours, in your custom colours. Say like Pro Grip stuff, hose reels, frames, poles, like window cleaning poles or whatever. Would you pay a premium just to have it in your colour? Because I would. I've not really looked into it. I'm sure there's someone that offers that, but I want everything in orange, just for the sake of it. I'm qualified in carpentry. I have been a sign maker based in Warsaw for 6 years, and I'm considering going self-employed in this, but I don't know what to do or how to go about it. Martin, I wouldn't necessarily throw all your eggs at it at the same time. If you've already got like a stable income and you're sort of happy with what you're doing, you just sort of fancy a change, I'd recommend getting a cheap pressure washer and just doing it on the side. And you're potentially looking at we're at the back end of pressure washing season at the moment, which shouldn't stop you. If you're going to do anything and you're serious about it, start now. Don't just think, oh, I'm going to wait till next year, because you're going to be in a totally different position next year. You should never, if you've got these ideas and you want to change your life, don't delay it, because the more you delay it, the further away the goal's going to get, and you're going to be constantly looking for reasons why you shouldn't do it. Because I'm like that. There's stuff that I want. There's stuff like, I need a new set of boots. I should show you my boots. You can probably see them in that video from today. I need a new set of boots. I've just bought Jakey like a £70 pair of work boots, knowing that they're not suitable for pressure washing in. Like, that's just his work boots. I've still got to get him some nice wellies, because his wellies are really uncomfortable. They're heavy, they're super cheap, and they're just horrible. So I've got him a pair of boots, and I know I've got to get him a pair of wellies. I've just bought us both just some over trousers from Aldi today, just some cheap, literally, just because we had wet legs today. Because we've just been going wellies and trousers. I think over trousers are a good investment. I used to wear them, and then I stopped because I put a hole in the crotch. I just never bothered getting new ones. There's stuff I need to buy for myself. My boots are knackered. They're about 4 years old. I don't buy stuff for myself. I just don't do it. I've only just started like buying clothes for myself, because I think I haven't changed my wardrobe in years. What were we talking about? I can't remember. Oh, I'll talk myself out of purchasing stuff, thinking, oh, it can wait, or I'm not desperate for it yet. Like, I talk myself out of making decisions that I know are right for me. And that's like, it's like starting a business. You'll find every reason. You'll think about it and think about it and think about it. And it's like, you know, it's a good idea. You know, it's probably the right thing to do. But you just convince yourself not to do it, or you scare yourself into not doing it. So if you're thinking about it and you've been thinking about it for a while, just start taking steps in that direction. Don't do everything all at once. Don't spend the whole of this week, doing everything you can to set up this business or whatever. Just do a little bit every day that brings you further towards your goal. and be consistent. The main thing is consistency. Don't think, oh, I'm not going to bother because winter's just around the corner, so I'll wait till next year. It's not going to happen if you've got that mindset. It's never going to happen. You'll always need like a certain amount of money, or a certain, you need to be in a certain financial position, or if you know you got to wait till your kid goes to school, or there's always going to be reasons. So just, if you've been thinking about it for a while, dabble in it and see if you like it. That was a rant, wasn't it? Weird rant. I've got a pressure washer. I bought it used, and I'd like to get it serviced, and also see if there are any upgrades I could do. Anyone know who to go to? There's so many people, but it depends on the area that you're in. So many good. If you've got someone local and they've got good reviews, the best place for you to do is take it to a local shop, because then you've got that local support, and local support for your pressure washer or for your business as a whole is like extremely valuable. If I had to travel an hour and a half every time I had a problem, or I needed a emergency piece of kit, it's just not ideal, and I'd be probably wasting lots of time with breakdowns and stuff. Howdy XTX, welcome. Pressure washing has gone a bit quiet, but I push the render cleaning a lot now, so that's picked up, and so has roof scraping. Yeah, we've got a couple of roof jobs coming in as well, which I've been tentative, is that the right word? Tentative to take. But to be honest, with the lack of work coming in, and the last roof scrape we did with Richard, to be honest, quite enjoyed it. Because it wasn't just me on my own in terrible weather, soul destroying. There's 3 of us on it. It was actually quite fun. So I'm quite happy to take on more jobs like that now that I've got Jakey boy with me. Me and Yeet have been on the windows today. You're probably right. The length of the drive is about 100 to 150 meters long, so it's going to be hard work. Yes. Yeah. Have you not done any roof cleaning jobs since the one where the lady's roof lining failed? That is the last full roof pressure washing job that I've done. I've done smaller roofs here and there, like garage roofs, porch roofs, pressure washing. And I've done a bunch of scrapes. I've done a few scrapes since then as well. But that was the last proper roof that I've done, pressure washing wise. My first proper roof, actually, pressure washing. And the last. You can hand your own cards out. What are we talking about? Hand your own cards out. 400 quid is good money. I know there's 2 of you on the job. However, nice chunk, little Jakey's wages. You need to chill on them expensive dinners. I mean, if it's gonna take us the morning, which it'll take us 2 hours. One of us on the front, one of us on the back. I can't see it being more than 2 hours. 400 quid's not a bad whack, if we can get some more work in the afternoon and make it worth our while. £5 per square metre for block paving is where I'm at. Okay, so I'm definitely cheap then, at £4. I'm just going to start out at £3.50 including chemicals. I'm in the northeast, so I think for your experience and where you live, you're really cheap. Yeah, I mean, I'm also getting the jobs done quickly. Like me and Jakey the other day, we did two pretty decent sized drives before lunch. 2 block paved driveways we did before lunchtime. I couldn't have even dreamed of that sort of productivity when I first started. That's crazy to me. That is. I think we'd had a banana or something in the morning, and because we bring each other like a bit of breakfast here and there, and I think we took a banana in and a little breakfast bar. So we were both like, well, I'm not hungry. Should we just head straight to the next one instead of having lunch and then going to the next one? And we were both like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do that. And before you know it, is one of my roof cleans recently. Just like a garage roof, pressure washing, gutter clear, you know. And then this is a roof scrape that we did with Rich a couple of weeks ago. 2 houses, a couple of neighbours. Roof scrape biocide, gutters, faces, soffits, conservatory clean, gutters vacuumed in 2 days. 2 properties in 2 days, which I thought was extremely good. Extremely good going. So these driveways, these ones here, we cleaned 2 driveways before lunchtime. So that's quite a diddly one. That's only a little driveway. Cracking before and after pictures on that one though. I'm really happy with that one. Come on. There we go. And then this one's quite a decent size. Big house. Big driveway. Landed their rear patio afterwards as well. So I got both of those done before lunchtime, which I was pretty happy with. So with how quickly we can smash these jobs out now, and the quality that we're putting out, we're doing a good job. I'm happy to not charge as much but get more work in during the day. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe I should just up my prices slightly. I don't think I'm particularly cheap. I don't think people understand how much exterior cleaning costs, and I'm always worried about catching people off guard with my pricing, like I did with this solar panel lady when I said £17 per panel. But I'm sticking quite firmly at that because I've messed about with the prices with solar panels, and just to make it worth my while, I don't want to do it any cheaper than that because it's a difficult job. But like, that's quite telling. It really is the difference. There's no negotiating. It really is the difference between landing the work and someone being completely disinterested. You go in slightly too high and they're like, whoa, that was like, I was expecting it to be way cheaper than that. So I'm trying to find the middle ground where I'm very happy with the amount of money I'm earning, but also it's, you know, it's just maybe even slightly over their budget. That's what I get most of the time. It's like, yeah, it's around about what I was expecting, maybe a bit more. But considering the quality of the work and the reviews that you've got and stuff, I'm happy to just go ahead. I get that quite often. So I think I'm for general pressure washing services, I think I'm right about on the line. When it comes to the specialist services like the sealing and the repointing, I think I could go probably quite a lot higher, because it is a specialist service. Not everyone's offering to clean, chemically treat and repoint your patio. Not everyone can do that sort of work well, and I think we do it well. You think £4.50 is pretty cheap? Yeah, I suppose it's, yeah, depends. Should be £25 per square metre using Titan, do you think? Is the ceiling price £12 per square metre including the clean up first? Yes. Yeah, but I've found that price is scalable. On a small drive, like a 50 square metre drive, I'm happy with. It's not going to take me long to like do a tarmac seal. It's going to take me and Jakey maybe an hour and a half on a 50 square metre drive to come back on another day and roll some tarmac sealer onto it. Like, it doesn't take long, and the product's not particularly expensive, and it's scalable. And so when you've got a 150 square metre tarmac drive, the profit margins are significantly higher. So on a small drive, it doesn't seem that, it seems like maybe you should be charging more, but as soon as when you do some of the size drives that we're doing, it's very worthwhile. Considering we're only spending a morning cleaning it and then another morning sealing it, it's like we've just walked away with 800-900 quid. And yes, 200 quid of that is product and rollers and all that sort of stuff. But for two mornings work, I don't think that's bad. I think that's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm confirmed, name down, ready to sink the... Okay, bash the sausage. Mr. Washington. Is Craig going as well? Nice. Thanks for confirming, boys. What's he doing? Sorry, Ryan from Curbsides just texted me and he's being a knob. Hi Hooper, you alright, mate? Ray, your work is... The work you're putting out at the moment is top tier, mate. Well done. Where'd you get your water? What do you do with driveway or roof waste? Thanks for the answer. Water comes from the customer every single time. And if the customer can't provide the water for whatever reason, I'm asking their neighbour, or I'm turning down the job. And then when it comes to the waste, I've not got a waste carrier's license. I'm not interested in carrying waste in my van particularly, and I don't want the headache of having to dispose of it. So I leave it with the customer every single time, and I tell them in the quote, this price includes chemical treatment where necessary to remove lichen staining, black spots, all that sort of stuff. All waste will be left with you at the property. We can either bag it up for you to dispose of, or we can drain all the moisture out and tip it into a garden waste bin, compost pile, plant borders, wherever you like it, but I don't take it away with me. And it's never been a problem. One or two people have said, I've not got a compost pile or a garden waste bin. And I said, I can bag it up for you and you could, take it to the skip. Never been a massive issue. Most people just drop it in the black bin anyway, once I've put it in a bag for them. The bags we use drain all the moisture out at the bottom, and then you're just left with a dry bag of dirt, so it's quite good. I couldn't give a toss what colour the stuff is. If it's good and the price is right, then that's that. If I had a choice, I'd buy blue for my colours, but I wouldn't pay extra for it. Fair enough. Sorry I asked. Does everyone track where they get the majority of their work from? I find my Google business profile and reviews to be the best lead generator. I suppose it's difficult to track unless they're coming through to you on that platform. Most of my work comes through WhatsApp, phone calls, and Facebook. So it's hard. I suppose it's just what people are seeing on Facebook and social media most of the time. For me. Evening, Andy. Lack of work, Jake. Check a trade may be worth taking a plunge on. Yeah, I'm not. The other thing is, I'm not advertising. I've got to be clear. I say there's a lack of work. I've been on holiday, the last couple of weekends in a row. And I've not put any effort into advertising at all, really, since I started my business, which is a nice position to be in. But also last year, around about this time last year, I had my brother with me who was helping to bring in some work. So maybe I just need to start going ham on emails. I did have a thought the other day. I'd like to go around all my local petrol stations and just offer them leaflet. I know the manager's probably not there most of the time, but I would like to just say, look, maybe we're doing forecourt cleaning in your area. We can do it during the night so as to cause less disturbance, all that sort of stuff. Check out my social media for the portfolio of the sort of work you can expect us to. I don't know, something quick, something just. I was going to plan a route of it's sort of Redditch, and just hit every single petrol station in Redditch. And you never know, if one job comes out of it, it was worth it. It was worth a morning doing that. I don't know. I don't fancy particularly... The other thing I'd quite like to do is make a winter leaflet. for gutter clearing, roof cleaning, conservatories, fascias, soffits, all that sort of stuff. Just a very specific winter leaflet. I think that would go quite well, depending on, you know, if you target certain areas. For you, it's a case of wanting customers to not think you're taking the piss with the price. Difficult to get a repeat customer if you're charging 300 quid for 90 minutes work. Yeah, and I want them to come back to me next year, but I think greetings from Portugal, lava, welcome. I think at the point of the quote, it's like, okay, this person's just going to come and do the job, and hopefully they'll do it well, and their price is like more than I expected, but you know, their reviews say they're good, so that's great. But then at the point where we've done the work and they're really happy with it because we do a bloody good job, and we're like nice and we chat to them and it's like a nice experience generally, I think that person is then a customer for life. If you can make sure they're happy with the work you've done, why would they go anywhere else next year? If they know the services you offer as well, that's another important thing, is making sure people know that you do all these different services. It's not just smelts pressure washing, it's gutter clearing as well, it's conservatory cleaning, it's, you know, solar panels. And this is what Ryan was saying to me the other day. It's like, you've got none of your customers' details, which is true. Since I started my business, I've had no way of recording down any of my customers' information. So I've got a calendar which has got each job in it with the name and address. I barely take phone numbers because most of them are coming through on social media. I've got no spreadsheets with customers' information. So what I'd like to be able to do is send out a mass text and say, you know, gutter season's here. Now offering gutter clearing at 10% off if you book in November. That's what I should be doing. And, you know, a proper professional business is definitely already doing that, but I don't know, I just never really fancied running my business that way, I don't think. Maybe I'm missing a trick. I'm definitely missing a trick. I think we all do things in different ways, and there's not one right way. I mean, what I'm doing so far is clearly working to an extent. I could be milking more out of... There's money definitely left on the table, like Ryan said to me. What else is he saying to me? The next live stream should be about marketing. He's telling me off. I think it's ironic since the last couple of weeks when he was on the live stream before. He mentioned that he's not got a lot of work, and I was sort of like, oh yeah, it's definitely gone quiet, but it seems fine at the moment, and I'm not advertising. What's this? Ow. Wondered if you could do a gutter clean front and back and wash my lean-to roof, which is polycarbonate. I'm in Leicester. Ugh. Does anyone want a job in Leicester? Gutter clean front and back and wash my lean-to polycarbonate roof. Anyone want the details for that one? Are you planning on growing the business any further? I like what we're doing with the YouTube. If YouTube can be... If I can prove that YouTube can be consistent. We've had a couple of like banging videos which have done really well, which make me think like YouTube is a serious option. I'm less interested in expanding and having multiple vans, multiple employees. I'd rather have a couple of employees and then have my time freed up to just do a lot of filming and focus on the videos. I don't know how sustainable that is, because we've got a bit of a niche here where I've got a bit of an audience of people that watch this stuff. I don't think this is going to grow, you know what I mean? I think there's only a certain amount of people that are interested in pressure washing business talk. There's only a certain amount of people that are ever going to watch my sort of like educational videos. I'm sure I could pull in hundreds of thousands of views if I was doing like satisfying content. So I don't know how sustainable the YouTube thing is, but I don't just want to do generic satisfying before and after content. You know what I'm saying? Difficult. There's only so many videos I can make about pressure washing. I've got loads of ideas, but once they're done, it's like, where do you go from there? Or I just become like more of like a vlog person, where I just sort of take you to work with me, crop out all the boring bits, and just, you can see what it's like to living the life of a pressure washer. You know what I mean? Do you guys think expanding to multiple people, to like teams of multiple people, is the route? What do you guys want to do? For those of you that have already got like a little foot in the door with pressure washing, what's your next step? I mean, it might be very early days yet, and you just want to get a steady source of income and like nail down your services and your pricing and your advertising. That's a really good like starting point, obviously. But once you're comfortable, where'd you go from there? Because if you've made it this far and you're already an entrepreneur and you're self-employed and you're a business owner, you're never going to stop, are you? When you get comfortable, you're never going to stop. You're going to carry on. And so where'd you go? What's the next step? It's like I said to Soph, like, if I was to just retire, I'd still tinker. I'd still be making stuff and maybe creating products or making videos or whatever. Like, I wouldn't just sit there and chill and relax. I'd be working towards something. I think that's part of being like a creative person. I think most entrepreneurs have that bit of like a creative need to like express yourself and be your own boss and stuff. So I think it's going to be difficult for me to just get to a point where I'm comfortable and then just carry on doing what I'm doing. I think I'll always be trying stuff. Is the GVS Panther good enough for residential gutter clearing? Absolutely, yes. Thoroughly recommend it. I'll be honest, I got the GVS 3600 afterwards for commercial cleaning, and I think it's just a little bit too bulky for residential stuff. If you're doing regular commercial, fantastic machine, but I think it's big. It's a huge machine to be carrying around in the van with you, and I think the Panther's just more suited for residential. I think it's much more agile, much more versatile. You can take it up ladders with you onto like flat roofs if you need to. So I got I want to have a look at that Phantom in a minute, but so I got this Panther with the aluminium poles. I think I probably got, oh, it's coming with this green hose now. I got the black hose, but I got the 36 foot with the pole bag, 774 including VAT. That's all the poles you're ever going to need, really, to use at a safe height. I like the aluminium poles. I've not had one problem with any of my aluminium poles. There's a few dings here and there and scratches, but like they're still in absolutely perfect working order, and I've had them for like over 2 years now, I think. Yeah, it's got to be about 2 years now. The Panther's fantastic. I've put my Panther through some stuff as well, and it's survived. still going strong. And then I bought the 3600 with the promise of some big commercial jobs. We did a few, and then they just stopped calling us. We were doing a great job, and then we just didn't hear from them again. And I thought, I don't want to spend 6 months of the year during summer just doing gutter clearing. So like, I'm not worried about losing that job anyway, and it was quite far away. It was going to be a commitment to go and get hotels and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, I'm glad we didn't go down that route. But either way, then I bought this machine, and it's a monster. You can't tell from the pictures, but it is significantly bigger than the Panther. Like, just me sitting here now, it's probably over shoulder height. It's as big and wide as I am. It's got wheels. It's just a chunky monkey. And it's heavy, and lifting that in and out of the van every day, it's a job in itself. And so I think unless you're specifically going for commercial work, I would lean heavily towards the Panther instead. But if you do use this on a residential property that's got a good access all round, and you're not trying to squeeze through tight gaps and stuff, the difference in flow from the triple motor is significant. Like, you can clear a gutter line so much quicker with the triple motor than you can with the Panther. So the Panther's 1700 watt. This one's 3600 watt, so it's 1200 watt per motor. Yeah, so this is... my maths is terrible. This is just over double what you get. Yeah, just over double the power what you get from the Panther. So in your head you think, oh, it's triple motor, the Panther's one motor, so it's triple the power. But it's not, it's just over double the power. But it's still a massive upgrade. If you've got the room and the access around the property, if you've got the right extension lead to even be able to run the thing, because if you've got a NAF extension lead, it's just going to melt it when you're using all three motors. You need a proper one. Like this. Look at the size of that cable. Thick boy. So you can use the thinner cable, the normal sort of extension leads, if you're running like 2 motors. But if you want to run all 3, you need a proper cable. Lots of people by me just use crappy cartridges and charging little to nothing, and then customers say to me I'm too expensive, it drives me mad. Yeah, I mean, are they getting the same results as you though? I think you can... Those people that are using little electric cartridges and charging nothing, they're not going to be in business for very long. They're not producing... 9 times out of 10, they're not producing fantastic work. The customer's always going to be left thinking, I probably should have got a professional. They've paid peanuts. That business isn't going to be, it's not going to last very long. So that is not your competition. You don't have to worry about those people that are doing bad work, charging nothing, because they won't be in business for very long. They're not your competition. You need to be trained in cleaning a forecourt, do you, Conrad? Can you expand on that? What do you mean? I mean, now that I think about it, it's quite obvious because you're working around fuel and explosives and stuff. So now that you've said that, I can understand it. But can you explain, please? Squeegee Dave, welcome, mate. You're right. I think you could smash it on YouTube if you pushed more content on there. Do you think? I just don't want to do like generic stuff. I think people watch me because... I'd hope people watch me because they learn a little bit here and there when they watch my video. They pick up those little nuggets of information. It's always the little nuggets. You're not going to learn anything mind-blowing, but just by having it explained and shown properly, I think you get them little nugs, which I think are important. There's only so many nugs you can put out there, though. You know what I mean? The issue is that it's not a regulated industry, so anyone can get a pressure washer and undercut everyone who's building a professional company. In one way you're right, but in the other way, I don't think. I love how accessible it was for me to just buy a pressure washer and start my business. I couldn't believe how easy it was. Not easy as in I'm being cocky, like I can't believe I've managed to make a successful business so easy. I don't mean that, because it was incredibly hard work. I can't believe how having a 9-to-5 job, regular income, working set hours, I managed to build this business by just dabbling in something on the side, but being consistent with it, but just dabbling, just buying something cheap, having a go, and now it's where it is now. The process was so easy to go from that to that. I thought it was going to be so much more complicated with like paperwork and insurance, and there's all these scary words like public liability and self-assessment and needing an accountant and all that sort of stuff. It's like, I don't want to go through all that, but once you've looked into it a little bit and spent 10 minutes doing your research, you actually realise it's not difficult at all. You just got to spend a bit of time thinking about it. The issue with using a low-powered electric karcher is that a lot of people will give up before they get to the end of the drive, and they'll start going, God, I'm going to be here all day, I need to speed up, so I'll do a worse job just to get to the end of the drive. So they end up leaving all sorts of weeds and crap, and you don't get a good result because the person's rushing because they've just realised how long it's actually going to take. You know what I mean? Personally, I've enjoyed the content you've put out. It's fitting to you and the channel and your business. Thank you. Thanks, Martin. Yeah, I think I like what I'm doing. I just don't know how, I don't know if there's any longevity in the sort of stuff that I'm putting out. You know what I mean? More stress, but then a certain level, you have a team that runs itself for the most part. It gets harder before it gets easier. Do you ever have a team that runs itself, do you think? I think running any team is particularly something that's got exterior cleaning. Firstly, the type of people that you're employing to run an exterior cleaning business, it's going to be like youngish lads, isn't it? Now, generally, youngish lads are not the most reliable demographic of people when it comes to like turning up on time and being presentable and not calling in sick and all that sort of stuff. So already you're at a disadvantage with the type of people you're having to employ. I know for a fact, like, if you were to look at, I don't know this for a fact, I'm just guessing, if you were to look at female office workers compared to male contract workers, for example, I bet there's such a disparity with staff turnover and sick leave, injuries in the workplace. There'll be such an incredible disparity that it's like you're already in the industry that you've picked. You're already, as a manager, at a disadvantage. Then you couple that with how often things break down. Like just me with one machine, I've got two now, but just with one machine, the amount of little bits that go wrong that put a halt to the work, that stop the day from moving because you've got a tiny leak on one of your high pressure hoses. If you carry on with that leak, you're going to destroy your machine because it's going to start surging and drawing air, and there's just so much that can go wrong. Fire risk, problems with the van, stuff breaks all the time, and it always breaks when you're rushing slightly. And this stuff is not cheap. Everything's expensive in this industry. You can't get a high pressure hose for like a good high pressure hose. You can't get one for like less than 200 quid. So if you're out on a job and you get a burst halfway down the hose, it's like, okay, that's 200 quid. and I need to find somewhere that supplies them. And it's, imagine that times 6 people, times like a team of 6. 6 vans, 6 pressure washers, 6 staff members. It just sounds like a world of nightmare. Hello, Luca. You alright, mate? What are you doing up this time of night? You got school tomorrow, boy? I'm surprised you're not playing on the VR. He's had a VR for his birthday. Meta Quest. Gorilla Tag. Let's go. I saw a guy by us last week doing a drive with a Karcher. He filled the road with sludge and just left it. I mean, you can't always get all of it because we had to leave a little bit today. But, you know, when you've got that really coarse tarmac, there's no neighbour. You know, we're not pushing the sludge in front of another neighbour's drive. It was just sort of into the street. But you get as much as you can, and then you can't always get it all. But you've got to make an effort. You know what I mean? How is the tight Arsatron coming along? What do you mean? What's the tight Arsatron? Cheers, Jake. That's all I was thinking for the extra cost. I don't mind the extra weight, etc. I'd rather buy something once instead of the Panther than the 3600. Yeah, I mean, that's not to say the Panther can't do commercial work, by the way. Light commercial, you know, you're probably not going to be putting 9 or 10 poles up there and still getting just as much suction on that end and, you know, doing a cracking job. By the time you get past 8 poles, it's pretty unruly anyway. But I've done loads of commercial jobs with the Panther. It's absolutely great. But if you really want that extra suction, yeah, I'd say go for one of the bigger machines. I was just going to look at the Phantom actually. I saw this at the cleaning expo, and it looked very cool. It looked like quite futuristic. So they've spun. It looks like they've spun it around with the way the frame tips, which solves a few issues there. That the this handle being attached to the barrel like this. If we bring up the 3600, so this has got actually a different frame on it. But if you see here that the handles aren't attached to the barrel itself, and so when you tip it, it tips awkwardly. And also I've got a slightly different frame to that, but I constantly smash my fingers. When you tilt it backwards and move it, the whole weight of the vacuum tips against your fingers and just crushes your knuckles. So they've fixed that with this. It looks like it's rotating from the middle, which is like a better... It just generally looks better in my opinion. It looks like it's got much more beefy clips. Everything about... I mean, even... That looks cool, doesn't it? Everything about it looks chunkier and better, and just better thought out. I wonder what the barrel's made of. Oh, Big Daddy long legs. Sorry, just landed on my thumb. 100 litre drum. What's this? 80 litre drum. Okay. So this is actually bigger, but it looks smaller. I hate this song. What is this song? And it's got a totally different design inside as well with these filters. Yeah, this just generally looks a lot better, but it is significantly more money, so there is that. Wonder how much it is with the alley poles. Let's go 36 foot. 1500 quid. 1550. compared to original trolley. I want the poles on that one as well. 36. No pole bag. Original trolley. That's the trolley I've got. Can you see the way the handle, if you were to tilt that back, it just smashes against your knuckles. So we're looking at 1,200 quid, including VAT. Oh no. Wait, which price is it? It's this one here. 940 quid for the same setup versus 1550. Looks like that comes with the bag anyway. Looks like you get the bag in the kit. I don't actually know what's different about this vacuum other than the obviously clearly better filter design and all that sort of stuff. It's the same wattage, same triple motor. Electronic float valve automatically shuts off as the drum fills. Okay, so the other one has got a mechanical float valve where it's literally just like an upside down cup, really, I suppose. So when the water or the debris gets to a certain... Wait, it's got to be water, because with the debris, you never know when it's full. If it's just dirt and moss, you'll start to feel like a difference in the suction. But as soon as the water comes to a certain level and pushes that filter up, there's like a tone change. It goes... and you get no suction because the cup's gone up. But with this, I guess as soon as the electronic float valve gets activated, it actually turns the machine off rather than just going crazy with the suction. It turns the machine off, so you're probably prolonging the life of the motor significantly with that. I think I've said the word significantly more tonight than I have in other live streams. Did you start with or without a van? I actually started in my girlfriend's Toyota RAV4 with a little baby machine, a broom, and some bags. And I was just doing it evenings and weekends whenever I could. And then I very quickly realised I can't do this for much longer. I need to get a van. And I got all the equipment necessary for me to run the business before I ever decided to take it seriously and sort of go full time. So I made sure I had my van, made sure I had an upgraded, better machine than what I started with. I didn't have to buy anything else when I decided to take the plunge and say to my previous employer that, you know, I'm going to try this seriously. I had a bunch of work booked in, and I just took the plunge. I had 2 months of savings, 2 months' wages worth of savings, 2 months worth of work booked in, and I had all my equipment. So I was like, right, it's peak season, it's like April, it's just about to kick off, I've got loads of inquiries coming in, now's the time to do it. Very difficult, but we got there in the end. You require a SPA petrol retail contractor's safety passport. Oof. I knew it. Knew it wouldn't be simple. An SPA petrol retailer contractor safety passport. You can get one within 2 working days. Forecourt training. Oh, it's actually forecourt training. So it's specifically designed for any contractor working in a petrol station. Okay, I mean that's a good standard to have, I suppose. You're working in a particularly higher risk environment, significantly higher risk environment. Day 1 is general health and safety, and day 2 is covering hazards on petrol filling stations and controlling work on a forecourt. Okay, not as simple as I expected, but it makes sense. Well, that's saved me a lot of time going around petrol stations handing out leaflets, that's for sure. I suppose when you get to a certain level and you're looking to go into different industries and stuff, and you think, right, we need to start pulling in work from here, there and everywhere, because how many people are getting that in order to clean petrol stations? There's probably not many, are there? Like, how much does that cost to go and do that? £170 for an online one. Petrol Retail Safety Passport 1 day. Oh, this is just the refresher course. That's a refresher. Okay, the 2-day course is a in-person course. You can't do it online, and it's £235 plus VAT, which that's not terrible, is it? Considering you can, that opens up a whole new body of work. But then you still obviously got to go and win the work, but at least you can say you're legal. Like, how popular are these courses? How many people are doing these? They must be doing them to be able to. I mean, I suppose this isn't just exterior cleaners, is it? This is every contractor that wants to work in petrol stations. I don't even know if I've got one near me. I'll probably have to go to Bristol or something. What a nuisance. I have a customer who wants their 180 square metres pattern imprinted concrete driveway resealed and not done one before. There are missing parts in the existing sealer. Would I need darker sealer colour? Simon, I've got an absolute nugget, a golden nugget for you here. First thing I'd say to you is, I think you've probably missed the season in terms of temperature, humidity, moisture levels. I think it's a bit late in the year to be doing pattern imprinted concrete sealing. I think you've just missed it personally. You might be able to prove me wrong, I don't know, but you want to check out this video. Smart Seal have done a step-by-step video, and it's the one that is 22 minutes and 48 seconds long. I'm going to post it in the chat for you. This is an absolute must watch for anyone that wants to seal pattern imprinted concrete. It's a fantastic video, and it'll tell you all the do's and don'ts, all the misconceptions, all the temptations of wanting to like apply a tint when you don't actually need to. Have a look at that. Nigel does a great job of explaining it. You would need to employ a certain type that has patience to do work to, and many people would get bored and rush it. Yeah, this is the other thing of, like, if you're expecting, when you build your business, if you're in my position, I've built a bit of a reputation with my 5-star reviews and stuff for doing like good work. If I were to then employ 2 or 3 staff members, train them up quickly and get them out doing their own stuff, there's clearly going to be a disparity. That's another word I've used a couple of times tonight. There's going to be a difference in quality, just naturally, because I care about my business and about the output. They probably just care about getting paid and doing a passable job, so I don't shout at them. But that's not good enough for my customers, you know what I mean? So that's another challenge, is you can't maintain quality when you have more staff members. It just won't work. Unless you've got a rigorous training program and repercussions for not hitting your quality targets. And at that point, you need to be a fantastic manager and understand how to manage a team of people and motivate them at the same time as managing them. Because the other thing that can happen is they can all turn around and just conspire against you and just hate you. Lots of people hate their boss, and I don't want to become that person. I've got a team of people underneath me that all just hate me and just don't want to work and don't want to do a good job. I want to create a good environment and good atmosphere, but at the same time I need amazing results, and it's hard to do both, you know what I mean? Simon, I've been there and I've messed up badly. I would walk away, but if you want work, don't try to cover the gaps in existing sealer. Patterning printed concrete, it's a challenge. It's a difficult challenge. It's not something you should necessarily walk away from, but I would potentially do a course first. I did the Pure Seal approved applicator course, and that's a fantastic course for like learning this sort of stuff. I've got a link in the description of my videos if you want to have a look. I get a bit of commission if you sign up. Full disclosure. But that'll give you like foundational knowledge and confidence to go into a project like that. And it'll also give you the understanding that like maybe this time of year, maybe you should wait till next year. And walk the customer through it and just say, look, not just me, if you get anyone to do this job for you, there's a high chance that because of the moisture levels and the amount of rain we're having, temperature, standing water, all that sort of stuff are going to potentially make the job, it could potentially go wrong, and it's quite expensive and time consuming to fix. Don't scare them, just say like, that's why I recommend that you don't have it done now, but we can get you booked in for next year. We'll clean it, and this will give you the opportunity to learn about it in the meantime. Get that job booked in for like April, May, and say, look, we'll clean it in April or end of April, May, and then we'll seal it about a week later. This is the sort of results you can expect, and just like walk them through it. If you rush into a job like that just because it's money, you're potentially going to be massively out of pocket, and if stuff goes wrong, I'm not trying to scare you, but the stuff can go wrong. Andrew, welcome. Okay, Luca. All right, mate. I'm going to see you tomorrow, mate. That's why pressure washing isn't very scalable unless you go purely commercial. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'm due to go and record a video at the H2O headquarters in the next couple of weeks. The day after the Sausage Fest, actually. And that's going to be a really interesting one because I've got some questions loaded up, ready to fire at them. Because they've got what they've done with their business is like extremely impressive. And they seem to have nailed the equipment setup. They've got a team of people that do good work for them. And it's like, how have you managed to scale it and still be successful and still put out quality work and still put out loads of content every day? So many questions. And I think they do mostly commercial. Obviously residential as well, but it's like they're one of the biggest pressure washing businesses in the UK. If I ever get to the position where I employ people, it will be former posties. Not just because I will know them, but they are hardworking and used to being outside and at work early. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Knowing that they've done not a similar role, but like they've had to face certain challenges before. To cover the patches, the colour is grey currently, and it's best to use a chapping sprayer or roller on patterning printed concrete. Actually, we found that a brush was best. Roller or a brush. I wouldn't go spraying patterning printed concrete if you've got a tint, because it will go everywhere. You could spray a clear sealer onto it, but you've got to be really careful about pooling. If you get pooling, you need to have a way of moving it around so it doesn't sit in between the cracks. So if you can put it on with a brush, much easier to move the pooling around. I started in pressure washing and then took the leap into landscaping. I had previous experience. Was a scary leap logistically. Got to thank pressure washing for opening up opportunities. That's interesting. So you went from pressure washing to landscaping. I've been thinking more and more about it would be interesting to be able to. I think I'm thinking less about landscaping and more about like grounds work. I quite like the idea of designing and laying driveways. Like a beautiful driveway, a beautifully designed front of house driveway, a path, nice stones, sleepers. I think about it quite often, and when I'm driving past people's houses, I'm not looking at like, oh, that needs cleaning. I'm looking at, oh, that's a nice driveway. Maybe that would come up nice, or that's a beautiful granite, or you know what I mean. And I've dug up loads of grass on my mum's driveway and filled it in with block paving. And so I understand the process. I've laid a couple of patios, so I understand the process, and it's quite interesting work actually. Very different, much more drawn out, takes longer, more expensive, more money being exchanged, waiting on materials, more risk, all that sort of stuff, but like very rewarding work. You know what I mean? Love your videos, keep up the good content. Hope to meet you in person at the Sausage Fest. We are South Staffs based. Oh nice, are you going? Are you have you said that you're going on the Facebook page? That'd be useful so we can know how many people are actually coming. Nice one. Super Shine, that's a cool name. Drasdy, welcome. Did you go quiet? Things have definitely dropped off a cliff. Yeah, things have definitely gone quiet. I'm not panicking yet. The only like if it was just me, I'd be like, oh fine, it's like no big deal. I'll just wait, put my feet up for a couple of weeks, and just wait for the work to come in. I'm not bothered. But then now that I've got Jakey, it's more a case of wanting to keep him busy. Like I can pay him. It's not an issue of being able to afford to pay him. It's like I don't want to keep telling him to like take a day off or whatever. I only did it once a couple of weeks ago. Just said like we had a couple of jobs booked in, a couple of unconfirmed jobs on a Sunday, and they never confirmed. I didn't follow them up. And so the day was booked out with these two unconfirmed jobs. Because I like to, when I do a quote, I say, here's your price, here's my availability, the earliest we could fit you in. I don't say it like that, but the earliest we could fit you in is like Sunday the 20th or whatever. So I'll put that as a calendar entry on Sunday the 20th saying, I've mentioned this date to this person. It's pink in the calendar, so I know it's unconfirmed. But potentially they're going to come back in the next few hours and say, yep, that date's fine. We're happy to go ahead. So I put a couple of them in on this Sunday, thinking we can do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And actually neither of them ended up confirming. And so it got to a couple of days before, and I just said, do you want to just take Sunday off? Because it's going to be too annoying for me to like mess customers about and bring work forward and stuff. Do you guys ever find that you're moving your days around? Because for me, I find that once I've booked some work in, that is very much set in stone unless the customer changes it. The only time I've really moved appointments around is actually like for extreme weather. Like I had a roof scrape booked in tomorrow, but it's going to like hammer down all day tomorrow. So I've said, can we do it on Friday instead? Just because it's going to be much nicer for us to. We're going to give you a better quality finish, scraping moss in the dry because it comes off easier. It doesn't just smear around everywhere, and it's going to be more comfortable for us to work in the dry rather than the rain. But other than that, I'm not moving appointments around. unless the customer asks me to. I'm not constantly swapping and changing people from day to day. Once they're in the calendar, that's it as far as I'm concerned. Does anyone else work like that? Or have you got... I know Sid, in one of his videos, he said he's got like a waiting list. So he's not necessarily got people booked in. He's just got a list of people that he's going to get to next. And he just says, maybe he just gives them like a rough date of like, we're expected to be done with these projects by around about this time, the next couple of weeks. You'll be next. I feel like I can't work like that because the customers potentially got quite a lot of... Most of my customers either want to be home or they want to know like exactly what time I'm arriving. So I don't know how you can run a business like that, where you just sort of say, maybe you get in touch with them closer to the time and then give them a specific date. But the way he said it about his waiting list made me think, oh, he just gets to them whenever they're next, which is crazy to me. I'm interested to know how other people work. What time is the live on until? Whenever I fancy, to be honest. It normally goes for about 2 or 3 hours, generally. I was up till 3 o'clock, half 3 this morning, editing thumbnails for my video today. And they're not even that impressive. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I was literally awake all night just thinking, I don't want to do this in the morning. I just want to go to work and focus on work. I don't want to be rushing thinking about thumbnails all day. I'm just going to get up and do it now. I couldn't get back to sleep, so I just thought I'm just going to do it. Just tune in. What have I missed regarding the title on the video? Oh, just that work has slowed down a little bit. Like I said, I'm not particularly panicking right now, but and 3 quotes in the last couple of days have all said I'm too expensive. So that's a weird trend. Doesn't happen that often normally. I did the Titan Pro patio grout the other day and it looks great, but did you find the patio look duller due to the resin left on the slabs? Almost like the matte finish, even though it was pre-soaked. Yeah, that's just... I think that's generally the oil in... So, that's a good point actually. So for the jointing compound, the brushing jointing compound that I would normally buy from like Screwfix or Pure Seal, Joint It, Easy Joint, all that sort of stuff, Sicker, they've all got like, I think it's, is it rapeseed oil? They've all got some sort of oil in it that when you mix it all with water, helps it spread easier, helps it fall into the joints, and then the oil, I guess, evaporates. I can't remember. Now that I'm saying oil, it seems wrong because the last thing you want on your patio is oil. I think it's something that evaporates when it's dry. I can't remember. But I'm guessing the Titan doesn't have that because it's epoxy based. So you're actually spreading wet epoxy over the whole patio. And then is that affecting the finish of the slab? I never even considered that, but now that you said it, that makes a lot of sense. Because if you're spreading something that's got epoxy mixed into it over a porous slab like Indian sandstone, that's going to suck in some of that content and potentially affect the finish of the slab. Almost like it's been sealed with a clear sealer. Like a matte sealer. I never thought about it, but I'll send Nexus a message about it, unless you want to do it and let me know what they say. The Tight Arsatron is the Dosatron in the orange B&Q toolbox. Oh, I've actually had to strip that apart and use it as parts for my gardener backpack, because I'll just say the gardener backpack wiring is trash. And I've had to totally rewire. I've rewired the whole thing. Matt, what do you mean 2007 YouTube? What's wrong with starting the video off like that? With my big old face? I thought it looked quite professional. Me with my little microphone. 2007, bloody hell. What was I just talking about? The tight arsatron. Hang on. This is me the other day rewiring my whole gardener backpack. And Coda in the car with me. In the van with me. So yeah, I've basically stripped all the wires out. I found the wiring guide online. I've put a new flow controller in it. I've put a new charging port in it. I've put a new battery in it because the old battery... I can't work out if the old battery wasn't charging or if the charging port was knackered. But I've just sort of gone through and replaced everything with these nice... Are they called Wago clips or something? These nice Wago clips. So the switch is the same. The flow controller that you twist is a new one. The charging port is a new one. All these wires that you can see are brand new. All these clips are new. The battery's new. The pump is new. And now I've got like a... Because I thought I fixed it all the other day. I had issues with it just not turning on or not charging or whatever. I couldn't figure it out. Messed about with the wires. Sort of redone some loose connections and stuff. Put it back together, tested it, it worked great. And then on the live stream the other day when we all went out together and did some gutters, faces and soffits, it just didn't turn on. I was fuming because I tested it, spent all that time trying to fix it, and it just didn't turn on when I got to the job. And I found out afterwards it was just actually one of these battery ports that had fallen off. The positive had just disconnected. But even so, I thought, I'm not having that happen again. I'm going to strip everything out, start from fresh. I had the parts because I had my own toolbox thing that I'd made with the pump and all that sort of stuff in it. But now I've got like what is essentially a brand new gardener backpack with actually heavier duty, better, it's a much better wiring setup than comes from factory. Because the cables that are in there, the sort of wiring that's in there, it's all like very loosely soldered on. It's got these weird twist clips where there's like 4 cables twisted together with like a little helmet screwed onto it. It's crap. It's like destined to fail. So if anyone's got a gardener backpack that's got an issue, it's very easy to fix yourself. You just need to get the little you type into Google gardener backpack wiring diagram, and it's like I'm gonna find it now. It's the first thing that comes up. So that's all you need to follow. See these clips? See these little helmets? They're just terrible. All these have got like tiny blobs of solder on them, so they're gonna come off. I've actually removed the fuse as well because I've got an inline fuse from the pump. See this this bit here? That's actually an inline blade fuse. So I've taken the other one out that isn't necessary anymore. So yeah, just generally improved everything about it. Also, if anyone is interested in becoming a boosted member anytime soon, I've just added a bunch of new photos. So there's hundreds of images in these packs. Obviously your classics, your Indian sandstone, which I still need to add loads more to. Got some solar panel images, loads of block paving images, which again I need to add some more to. But I thought, considering we're going into gutter clearing season, I've just added some gutter fascia and soffit washing ones, which might be useful to some people. lots of gutter clearing images. So about 100 gutter clearing images I've just added that you can use for anything, any form of marketing. You can put it on your leaflets, put it on your van, whatever you want to do. They're all good, high quality images. And then I've also done I've added some of my recent tarmac restoration jobs as well. I've also done some AI generated Christmas lights, which I think are interesting. I've never played with this before, but I've got a new Pixel 9 Pro and it's got an image generator on it. So normally you have to pay for that sort of service, but it comes free on the Pixel. Just realised I can use it as a webcam as well, which is cool. And I'm doing my YouTube filming off it now as well. But these Christmas lights, it's actually produced some like decent images, some usable images, so I thought I'd plonk them in there as well, if anyone's considering offering Christmas lights. I'm going to be using these this year. I've got plenty of my own to use, but I think these are good examples as well. I can't see any like glaring issues with these images. Sometimes when you generate AI images, there's like really obvious things that just don't make sense. Like I suppose there's that one going across the path. If you were to look at that one, there's like a light going across the path there, which wouldn't be there. And there's like a weird thing in the corner with the gutter. Well, that's not quite right, obviously. There's some weirdness going on with the textures here, but in general, for a Facebook image that people are going to look at for like half a second, I think they're passable. Oh, your van's been in the garage for almost a month. Ooh. That's another scary thing as well. Imagine you've got like 5 vans on the road and 1 or 2 of them break at the same time. It's just disaster. Absolute disaster. Same here, Jake. Don't really move work around once it's booked in. Only do it for window cleaning. Okay. A lot of my patio leads have dried up, but I'm landing more gutter clearing work. Do you think I'm cautious of like people booking in now for their gutters when the leaves are still yet to fall? So I wouldn't have known this. Like as a homeowner, if I wasn't in this trade, as a homeowner, I'd be like, "Oh, my gutters are full. I need to get them cleared." Not really considering actually a month from now the leaves are going to carry on falling and they'll need clearing again. So are we recommending that people just get them cleared because the work is coming our way, or are we going to book them in for like November? Do you know what I mean? I think I'm going to aim to get November just full of gutter work. I think that's a good target. Maybe even offer a discount for those that want to commit now to getting booked in for their gutters in November. If I can fill November with gutter work and just say you get 10% off or 15% off, whatever, 20% off maybe. Because if I can do 4 or 5 gutters a day, we'll be absolutely smashing it. I'll be well happy with that throughout the winter. Reliable, consistent work, booked in well in advance. Obviously, you're going to get a few cancellations and stuff. But the last thing I want to do is clear out someone's gutters this week, only for them to think, oh, all the leaves are going to drop in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to need them doing again. So do I advise my customers that they get booked in the next couple of months and just sort out the emergency jobs, like the one I've got coming up in the next few days where his conservatory's leaking because the gutters are blocked? Obviously, I'll get on them one straight away, but what do people think about that? We work like that. I set out how long a project should last. If my employees are running behind, I speak to the next customer and they're always understanding. Nightmare as everything gets pushed back, which also messes deliveries up. Yeah, that's... But I suppose being a landscaping business, how else can you work? Like if a job gets pushed back, you can't just suddenly put that one on hold and start the next one and maybe have one guy over here and one guy over here. You've all got to be on one job at a time, surely. So it must be so difficult. I spoke to my local a mate that's recently started a groundworks business and landscaping and stuff, and he's booked up till like gone January. He's booked up way past January, and yeah, he just does one job, gets that one finished off and finalised, starts on to the next job. Like however long it takes, that's how long it takes. Then he starts the next one, and he gives the customers just like a rough time as to when they can expect, how many customers are ahead of them in the queue. You know what I mean? So it's a weird way of working, but I'm not sure that's for me really. How's that trolley design? We're not talking about the trolley design. I still think it's got potential, but everyone else was taking the piss out of me. I put the Expert Village logo on the 2007 picture. What's Expert Village? What is that? World's largest how-to video site. I don't understand, but I think what you mean by that is it's a very professional looking video. That's probably what you mean. If I'm an expert, Expert Village. Oi oi princess, welcome Chel, you're right mate. Some battery connections have a small hole in them, so when you connect them with a spade connector, you can push a small tab down to stop the connectors coming off. Oh, that's good to know. I'll have a look at that. I mean, the ones that are insulated, you probably can't do that, can you? But I'll have a look, thank you. Much should I charge meter squared for my first roof cleaning job? Clean crew. That's a very broad question. Are you going to be scraping, or are you going to be pressure washing? What sort of pitch is on the roof? Are you going to need a tower? Is it a bungalow? Is it semi-detached? Is it... Bit more information needed, I think. Feel free to send me a screenshot if you've got like a Google Earth image or whatever. You want to send it me on Instagram or WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. We can maybe go through it together. It's up to you. How do you price your gutters? I go by Skyvac and charge £35 to £40 per length. My base price is around about £40 per side. So if there's 3 sides, because it's a semi-detached, £40 front, £40 side, £40 back, £20 for conservatory. That's my general pricing. If there's like very complex areas or weird access or anything like that, the price just slowly goes up from there. If I've got to reach over like a massive conservatory, the price will go up slightly. If there's like more downpipes than average, the price is going up, because I check every downpipe. I make sure that we've got clear downpipes, either by putting the vacuum head in the top of the downpipe and listening for that flow at the bottom. Some people put like a leaf underneath and check that it gets sucked up, which is a good idea. The other thing I like to do is get up with a ladder on every gutter job that we do, just to make sure one of us will be up the ladder spotting and the other one will be clearing the gutters, saying, "No, back, this way. Yep, you've got it. Okay, come on, keep moving. Okay, yep, this way. Back a bit. Yep, you've got it." Under the ledge, there's a tile that slipped. Just go slightly under. Like it sounds weird having 2 of us just on one run of gutters, but it's really effective and we get it done really quickly. And we're confident that the work is perfect, confident that all the downpipes are free flowing, and we can get those all important before and after pictures while we've got the ladder up there as well. You could do the same with an inspection pole. In fact, I need to order a new pole. I need an SLX 29 or whatever it is. I might use my CLX pole as just an inspection camera, so we don't have to get the ladders off. Probably still need the ladders for like unblocking downpipes and stuff, which will be a pain. I think the inspection camera is probably a good idea, considering I'm carrying it around with me most days. It's this one that I've got here. It's decent quality. I can hook it up to my phone. Much easier than getting up and down the ladder. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Expert Village was the biggest how-to of elderly YouTube, now known as eHow. How do you even know that? That's such weird. What's the trolley design? Shall I show you? So you've got to take the design with a pinch of salt, right? But I can't believe we're even doing this again. But you've got to imagine say for example a Matt, is there a picture of my little toolbox thing in the Discord? Where have I put a picture of that? Matt, if you can, if you're here, if you can like get find that image or whatever or video, and just like give me a nudge with it, that'd be really handy if you don't mind, if you've got a second. But I'm imagining the control box up here, and then you'd have a barrel of your pre-mixed chemical solution here, obviously on like a bit of a platform. That's wrong. What am I doing? That's your barrel of chemicals, and then you're drawing from that up into the box. And the reason I like this trolley design is because it's self-contained. So other trolleys that I've seen, other like soft or window cleaning trolleys or whatever, window cleaning trolley, the way the handles are, I suppose that one's self-contained. Oh, that one looks cool. I haven't seen that one. That sort of fixes all the problems that I've had. Quite expensive, but I like. You see how sort of big this is, and how the footprint is like long. This one, like the wheels protrude out behind the handle. This one, the handle sort of slopes backwards. The footprint could be smaller, and that one's quite a nice one, to be honest. But most of these are obviously designed for pure water setups. I want to do a specifically chemical for like chemical application for soft washing stuff. I think it could be quite a useful thing. You've got several barrels of solution in the back of the van, and you just drop whichever barrel you're going to use onto the trolley, connect the pump, and away you go. And you can use like an applicator lance, or you can use a water-fed pole. To be honest, I haven't spent a whole lot of time looking at these, but some of these, I've never typed in window cleaning trolley. I've always just looked at like sack trucks and pump trucks and stuff. So, but these look great. But they're bloody expensive, aren't they? Look at the price of that. Over £1,000. I mean, admittedly, I don't know what comes with it, but that one's like almost 800 quid. Surely 700 quid. Surely there's a cheaper way of doing this. Because I like the X-Jet as an application method, but it's not incredibly versatile. Pretty much with an X-Jet you're doing hypo. That's pretty much all you're doing, and occasionally maybe biocide on ground level. For anything over ground level, conservatories, fascias, soffits, window cleaning, biocide in a roof, everything else you need a different piece of equipment for. What if you had like an all-in-one piece of equipment that can do everything? You have a premix solution of hypo, premix solution of biocide, and then you plug in whatever you want to, you know what I mean? I like that this design is quite sort of self-contained. I've got a very cool idea for an applicator down on the front here as well. So this is the reason I wanted this design as well. This is one of the things I left out, Matt, or Craig, if you're still here, when we were talking about this last time. If you imagine tilting this whole unit back on itself, like this. Now, imagine on this rail here, let's move the light around. How do you move the light? Okay, so imagine it's tilted like that and you're walking with it. Now imagine, right? Imagine somewhere down here, you got a bunch of nozzles. Some like 50-degree fan jets or something. And instead of plugging it into your water-fed pole or your lance, you just plug it directly into the bottom of here. And now you've got a walking either biocide or hypo applicator. And you just walk it with like 3 50-degree fan jets. You know what I'm saying? So this was the whole idea behind the design, which I think I forgot to mention last time, which is why it sounded so absurd. Anyone think that could be a thing? What's the highest gutters you do, Jake? How many stories? 40 feet, which is, I think it's 4-story. It's dangerous and I wouldn't recommend it. It's 10 poles, that is. Or 9 poles, I think. I can't remember. But it's, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm happy at 3 stories with vacuum poles. Anything more than that and you probably want some sort of cherry picker or something. Do you account in lower or higher gutters? Do you account in lower, higher gutters? I don't go up ladders, work by myself, not something I'm comfortable with. Yeah, everyone's different. I think I would argue that if you're going to offer gutter clearing as a service, you have to have ladders. There's no way that you can guarantee that the downpipes are clear if you don't have ladders. If you've got a blocked downpipe and you know it's blocked, and your gutter vacuum can't get in there because there's a screw holding the downpipe in, which is extremely common. That's why it's blocked, because all the moss is stuck in there. You can't clear that with a gutter vacuum. Other than having an extendable high pressure pole, which Nigel from H2O mentioned the other day. You can just put the nozzle down into the gutter, blast it with a turbo nozzle. Unless you're going to do that, you cannot guarantee that that downpipe is going to be clear when you leave. So I think if you haven't got ladders, you can't offer gutter clearing. Personally, that's my opinion. What camera are you using for inspections? I didn't catch what you're using. So for my YouTube and stuff, I've got the DJI Action 4. And I've got the Adventure Pack, which comes with all the different batteries and stuff. Oh, I've not got all the cards. That's come down quite a lot in price. But it's a great little camera. I think much better footage than you get from a GoPro. Much nicer, much cleaner. You wouldn't have thought this was an action camera. Like, with the way it looks on this screen, I don't think this looks action camera-ish. But I can use it for gutter inspections. I can use it for doing my time lapses for my YouTube. I can use it for doing standard YouTube stuff. I can plug it directly into my laptop and it's now a webcam very, very easily. It's just I love it. It's very good. Very good camera. Matt, don't worry about that. If you're struggling to find it, mate, I don't want to put you out. Oh my god, one of the quarterly jobs I quoted today. Window cleaning. That's pretty insane, isn't it? How are you getting up there? Must have quite a big pole to be able to do that, I tell you. Is that all like aluminium framing around it as well? Literally just pure water on that then, by the looks of it. I wouldn't risk anything else. Hi, the X-Line trolley, they have a black one that is solely for chemicals. It's 700 quid. Only downside, it's short and needs an extension handle like a golf trolley. X-Line chemical trolley. Black one, you said. This one. Soft washing chemical trolley, 600 quid, 718 quid including VAT. 45 litre portable plastic soft wash trolley, 100 psi chemical pump, digital flow controller, heavy duty wheels. Oh, you can like tip it on its side, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, this does the job, doesn't it? It's just a fair amount of money. It's quite a lot of money, but 12-volt charging port. Yeah, I mean, that does the job. That solves the issue, doesn't it? I'm not pretending like I'm reinventing anything that doesn't already exist. 5 litres per minute flow rate, which is plenty. That's great. Filling the unit couldn't be easier. Self-filling clever design feature. The lid of the trolley is recessed into the tank, allowing you to flip it over to a 25 litre drum of pure water that then sits snug into the top of the trolley, allowing you to remove your handles and let the water decant into the unit. Not sure what you mean, but okay. That looks great. Yeah. Follow me, Power Caddy. Sounds like a request. Sounds like a... Doesn't matter. Do these work? Literally a caddy that follows you around. Does that actually work? Electric golf caddy. Follow me remote control. Oh, I bet that could get annoying though. It's in equipment chat. Oh, thank you, mate. Oh, you're very kind. You're a good guy. So this is what I've made. I mean, it's probably better context with the audio, because I was very proud of myself on the day.
Boys, she's alive. She's breathing. She's sucking. .8 litres per minute.
It's got a battery status bar as well, so you can actually see which I think is missing from the Gardener backpack.
My little charging port. Look at how neat that is. Ooh-wee! Just gotta stick everything down, stop it floating about. Well, just the battery and the pump really, but... How smart is that? Draw from your barrel. Pipe's a bit long, but... Just need a Claber fitting on here now. One of those orange Claber adapters.
Yeah, so imagine that.
Boys.
Imagine that on a trolley, basically, is what I'm saying. That trolley that I just showed you. I think it's viable. Yeah, you know what? I could just make like a YouTube video of how to build one yourself. Have you worked out ratios yet? Are you talking to me? No, you'd have a premix barrel. You'd premix whatever solution you want. I don't know if you're talking to me. I understand what you mean, but it can be bulky. Best option would be you could design... your design is good, but you would be better to have better 1 unit and a 5-bar fan jet from AliExpress with 12-volt high-pressure pump. Have a pump box with 2 pumps and a water or chem. It's hard to picture when you say it like that. I have a 3-story clean and charge 100 quid. I charge per property rather than a side. I also do the same back on the downpipe. £24 action camera to my window, clean glass fiber pole. Yeah, there's yeah, I think I used to just sort of guesstimate with the gutters. I used to literally turn up, think, oh, that's quite a big one. I don't know, maybe 90 quid, 100 quid. But then I listened to the Uncleanables podcast, shout out, on YouTube. Ryan from Curbside Cleaning. He did an episode where he was talking about pricing, and he mentioned that he charges about £45 a side, I think, and he's got a set price for conservatories as well. He charges like £150 plus VAT for any conservatory as like a base price. And I think doing like a set price like that is good and bad. Like, you're gonna have good days where it's like, okay, that was easy considering the amount of money I've just earned, and there's other days where it's gonna be like, oh, that one probably should have been a bit more expensive. But for ease of quoting the job and just taking all the emotion out of it, all the thought out of it, just saying this is my price. I've got a standard set price for gutter clearing, standard set price for conservatories. It's just super easy. It could be worth the ups and downs of whether the job was worth it or not, because they're all going to average out. And if they don't average out, you're going to slightly turn that price up. So I think a set price it can be quite good. So that's what I switched to when he mentioned that. I thought, yeah, I should probably be doing that with the gutters. it's going to save me so much time, and it has. You keep the remote in your pocket. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Seems a bit annoying. I have the orange one for window cleaning. I'm new on here, been cleaning windows for 42 years and still going. I'm Jack, by the way, love your videos. Oh, Central Pure Clean. Thank you, mate. Very kind of you to pop in and kind words, thank you. I only use Chinese parts from AliExpress, never had an issue. Flow controller 15 quid, pump 12 quid, box 16 quid. Pump for the pure water lasted 5 years. Tintins, do you have any images of your setup? Because I'll be quite interested to see that. Change the flow controller for a fully digital one, as vibration can change the speed if the rubber on the back of the dial goes. Oh, that's an interesting point. The Unclean Balls podcast is my allocated slot for admin. Saturday mornings, nice. Gotta love Dan on the exterior, on the Uncleanables. Dan, he makes me laugh so much. I've watched a few episodes recently, and I do it from my other channel because I've got 2 channels here, but I have watched more than that. I know you can see the red bar on that one, but I have watched a few more. He makes me laugh every time. Just some of the stuff he comes out with, you could tell he'd be an absolute nightmare in real life to be around. Just saying exactly what's coming into his head. He could just talk for hours, just talk nonsense and just make it funny. He was telling that, how can you make a story about a lady being rude in Argos funny and engaging? It's like a 4 or 5 minute story, and it was just hilarious. He's so good. Do you keep the same gutter price even if some sides are shorter? One I'm doing tomorrow, the sides of the house are half the length of the front and rear. What are your thoughts? You could sort of average it out and just say, yeah, the fronts are going to be front and back 40 quid each. The side's going to be 20 because it's like half the size. You got to bring a little bit of like, you got to be reasonable with it. I sometimes feel bad for saying £40 a side because I know the front's going to be quite complex, maybe the back might be quite complex, but the side is going to be one clear straight run of gutter with barely any windows, or as long as access is good, especially when it comes to cleaning the gutters, faces and soffits. I know a side is probably going to be less complex than the front and the back, but as just like an ease of quoting it, it's just so much quicker and easier for me to just say £40 a side or £45, £50 a side. But I will occasionally adjust it, yeah. That's the method I implemented. Thanks, Jake. No worries, mate. £4 a metre gutter clearing. You could do it like that, but then if you get... Trouble is, if you get someone that just wants the front doing, like I did the other day, she actually approached me to just clear above the garage because she had a blockage. And I was like, I actually said, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to come out and just clear. Like, is there anything else you need doing? Because it's just not worth my time to come out and do that. And I suppose the drive could do with cleaning if you want to quote for the drive. So we quoted for the drive, and then I was able to just give her a good price on that, just that small length of gutter. £4 per metre, if you're sticking to that like religiously, you could get a tiny job. And it's like, I suppose again you've got to use your common sense, but I would be worried that I'd be worried that those small jobs at £4 per metre just aren't going to be worth it. But then when you apply that to like the pricing for a commercial clean, and you've got a school that's got 250 metres of gutter in, then £4 per metre sounds potentially a little bit too expensive. Maybe. I did a school recently, and I quoted £2.50. No, what did I do? I think it ended up being about 700 quid. So what's 700 divided by £2.50? 250. Yeah, so it's £2.80 per metre. I quoted for that one. And it was low level, wide sort of gully gutters. Very easy access. Good access to power all the way around. It took me and my brother less than a morning. It took us like from about 8:30, got set up, ready to go at 9. I think we were done by 11. Like, I think that's really good for 700 quid personally. No materials used, no, just wear and tear on the gutter vacuum, I suppose, but no products used. We use their power. I think if I'd have quoted much more than that and I was only there for 3 hours, it sounds a little bit unreasonable there. But then you get a bigger commercial job where you need cherry pickers and whatever, then, you know, £5, £6, £7 per metre sounds a bit more reasonable. Being there and used to do per metre, it's bad business. We've got a disagreement in the chat. Guys, I think I'm going to go. I'm very tired. I was, like I said, editing thumbnails at 3 AM. I'm going to play a little advert just about the YouTube memberships and stuff, so if you could stick around and watch that, I'd be very grateful. If you could do a little thumbs up on the stream, so there should be a button underneath for you to like the live stream, I'd really appreciate if you could do that. If you're not already, click subscribe, doesn't hurt anyone. Thanks for contributing, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Love you all, see you in a bit, have a good week, bye. Now these videos take a lot of time and effort to film and edit, on top of trying to run a successful pressure washing business. If you find any of the information in my videos useful, then I'd like for you to consider becoming a paid member of the channel. Circle members and above will get access to my private Discord for members only, where you can pretty much get a hold of me 24 hours a day for inspiration, technical help, marketing advice, or just a general chat. I post pictures and videos that you won't see on any of my other socials. You'll be the first to hear about giveaways, special offers and announcements, and it's just generally a nice place full of like-minded people who are all heading towards similar goals. We've got various different experience levels, we've got a few professionals in the chat as well. If you want to push your business, in my opinion, this is the place to be. We also have 2 other membership tiers. One is just to show a bit of support for the channel, and the other one is for boosted members, which will not only give you access to the private Discord, but also loads of high quality promotional images for you to start your business. I know what it's like when you're ready to get going, but you don't have any before and after pictures to put on your leaflets. At the moment there's about 150 images that you can use for pretty much whatever you like, and my intention is to constantly update these over the next few years with all of my before and afters that have helped promote my business. Last thing before I let you go, new videos come out every Monday night at 5:30, and then I go live at 7:30 to chat to you guys and answer as many questions as possible. We do live quotes for real customers and just generally keep up to date with everything going on in the pressure washing world. Thanks for watching, back to the video.